Could I take care of some business here? One of the things we had is the Blair-Holt Act. Have you been keeping up with the Blair-Holt Act?
No, I have not.
As a budding politician, you need to know what the Blair-Holt Act is.
Well, let me just write it down. My mentor
Blair-Holt.
here. Yes.
Blair-Holt Act was introduced at the beginning of the year in Congress and still has apparently a lot of people worried about this.
Who was it introduced by?
Blair-Holt. Blair-Holt.
Okay.
All right, now here is the proposed legislation as it sounds. Senate Bill 2099 will require us to put on our 2009, I guess 2010, 1040 federal tax forms all the guns that we have. Apparently, and if you go to Snoops or Truth or Fiction, this is true. What are you laughing at?
I like that, though. I like the fact we should know the guns that people have in their homes. Why not?
No. Why? On our 1040 forms?
Why not?
Are you serious?
What's wrong with that?
Why would you want to know what guns I have? Who cares what Bubba has out there?
It doesn't matter. You should know what people have in their homes. I'm all for packing. I'm all for carrying a weapon.
Yeah, but I don't want to
carry
because that's the first state of no, Angela.
Talk to me. Talk to me. What's the problem?
Then you're gonna. I don't like that idea.
Why not?
Because I don't think the government needs to know what guns I have in my house, or what kind of steak knives I have. Do I have any fly spray in there?
Steak knives
No, absolutely, positively not.
And guns are not the same thing.
We are this way on that one, and we'll never get together.
We'll never go together. I think that people should know. No. Because, listen, at the end of the day, it's not the guns that we have in our homes that are killing people. It's the guns that they sell on the street, Paul, that are killing people.
But those people are not going to register their guns.
Well, then we need to put laws in effect to make sure that they do. I think it's a start. You and I are not going to agree on that one.
No, we're not. I mean, we're going to be going to two different places.
And for you gun-toting people out there, I'm sorry, but I do believe that guns should be registered and people should know and the government should know. But Paul, I have a question for you, please. Dealing with concealed weapons, that's one thing. But when we have people losing their jobs, when we have people that don't have health care, when we have people losing their homes, I can understand that this is a very important subject. I can understand that. I can understand members of the NRE is a very important subject. But I think there are other things out there that are important as well.
I think it's abridgment of the Second Amendment that you would have anyone wanting to know why you have what type of hunting rifle do you have, what type of firearms are in your house, and placing them on any form. Now, we already have registrations.
What's wrong with that, though?
Billy, your thoughts?
Oh, Angela, darling, you're way off on this. There's only one reason and one reason only for the federal government to have an inventory list of who owns what.
Why?
And that is to be able to know where to go get it.
I think we're mixing apples and oranges here, though.
It's so important that the founders and framers of the Constitution put it right after that freedom of speech.
So you're saying, in essence, that if this act passes, it has no co-sponsors whatsoever. If it passes, that the government can go into your home and take your guns. Is that what you're saying, in essence?
Possibility, yeah.
Incrementally, absolutely, yes.
Listen, this is the problem that I have. You have folks out there, Paul, that are stockpiling weapons, and they want
Angela,
to. Let me
those
finish.
people are not going to be acquiescing to the laws. They don't today. Why would the government want to know? Why do you think the government wants to know?
I think that the government has the right to know what guns we have in our homes, and I'm sorry, I do.
All right, Jeff Madison, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to ask the same question of this young lady.
It's Angela. My name is Angela, sir.
To have our guns and to know what guns that we do have.
You really believe?
They're not going to go in. Hey, excuse me for a second. They're not going to go in one big swing and say, okay, we need to know what the guns are. We're going to come take them tomorrow.
Listen, sir, may I speak now, please? You have had gun laws on Capitol Hill since the early 90s. Some have passed, some have not passed. So you truly believe that if you register your guns that you have in your home, that the government one night will come in the dark of the night and take all your guns away and hold you hostage?
Yeah, the answer
you really
to that
believe that?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know this thing about repeating history, we've seen that in other countries over
That's other
and
countries,
over.
though. That's not America.
Angela, let me ask you something.
Sure.
If a government wants to
Now, you're talking about somebody who was mugged? You're talking about somebody who was beat down.
If the government wants to turn on its people, that Constitution is nothing but a piece of paper.
It is a piece of paper, but to amend it, you have to go through several processes, Paul, and anybody can introduce any dadgum.
You have opened up a can of worms, and as a budding politician, I'm going to throw you to the wolves, and here you go. Ready?
Throw me, baby. Throw me,
You
Frank.
have got
Frank,
Angela. I'm turning my mic off. Go ahead, Frank.
What you got for me? Go, Frank, go.
Frank. All right, go to Jack. Jack in Florida.
Jack, help me out.
Angela, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to, as a lifelong Republican, a gun owner, beyond probably what you think is any measure of reason, and from a family who's been involved in defending this country since the French and Indian War.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you that if you have a modicum of good sense, you won't spend your filing fee trying to qualify for a congressional seat because you're dead on arrival on this issue. The single-issue voters of this congressional district that you aspire to represent will turn you away.
Sir, I have not said that I'm going to run for office, number one. You've already stated that I said that I'm going to run for office. I did not say that, number one. Number two, my question is, why do you have a problem in registering the weapons that you have in your home? Why is that a problem?
Well, I'll give you a quick answer to this.
Please do.
I cannot find in the Constitution, and I'm an attorney, and I think I'm reasonably adept at reading it, there is no explicit right of privacy in the First Amendment. Our Supreme Court has nevertheless decided to divine one in the context of Roe versus Wade. I have, therefore, a right of privacy to own anything which is legal in my home in any quantity I care to own it, without any inquiry from the government about what it is, where it is, or how many of them there are. You would restrict my rights.
Not me. You're saying you, sir.
You a favor. You say you feel the government has the right to it.
But I'm not a government official, sir. I'm an American, just like you stating my opinion, sir.
Well, but you say you feel the government has a legitimate need to know this information.
I said, why wouldn't you want them to know the information? Why would you not want them to know the information? Is it your right to privacy? Is that the answer, my attorney friend?
It also impinges on my Second Amendment right to own firearms and keep them in the house. Now, you may not know this, but there are classes of firearms in this country.
Sir, and please do not insult my intellect by saying that I may not know. Why don't you educate me instead of stating what I do or do not know? Now, why don't you want to tell me what you want to tell me?
Well, if you'll stop speaking over me, I'll try to finish this statement.
Well, if you stop insulting me, I'll stop speaking over you. Tell me what you want me to know about the classes of the types of guns that are out there, sir.
There are classes of firearms, fully automatic weapons, in other words, machine guns, which it is not lawful to own or possess unless you have a special registration for that firearm with the Treasury Department.
At the age of 7, my father taught me how to shoot a rifle so I could protect myself. I believe that you should be able to have weapons. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe that you should be able to protect yourself. But when you have crazies out there that are stockpiling guns because they believe that we're going to have some type of race war, I think that that is a problem. Now, that's the statement that I am trying to make. So people out there that misunderstood me a few minutes ago, I apologize. But if you want to ask me a question, first of all, don't accuse me of anything. Second of all, don't predict anything. And I'd be more than happy to listen to you and answer your question.
What would be the reason that the government would want to know?
If I may say something, I think it is the government's way, in its ignorance, trying to get a hold of it, because you've had conservative talk show radios where I've heard, right before I've been about to, go on to state my case, people who want to overthrow the government, people who don't like the fact that we have a black president, people who don't like the fact, they believe that there's going to be a big race war. So I think the government, in a way,
those people will fill in the form?
No, I don't think that they're going to fill out the form, Paul, but I think this is the government's way of trying to make a statement that we're trying to find out what's out there. Because I've heard from members of Congress, Paul, down south that they've had constituents that have had guns stockpiled.
But these people are doing it illegally, though.
I understand that. And then you do have
Could I ask
thugs.
a question?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
If the government said, we want you to declare on your form, your tax form, the amount of fertilizer that you have in your possession, Do you think Timothy McVeigh would have put that down on there?
But I'm not comparing Timothy McVeigh
no, but
to
you
this
understand
form.
where I'm going here. Do you think Timothy McVeigh would have put it?
I'm saying in essence what the government is trying to do is just to make a start, because you do have some dangerous folks out there.
Nobody trusts the government.
But then let's just have anarchy then at the end of the day. Listen, we might not have the best system, but we have the best system in the world.
On this issue, we are so far apart.
Yes,
it's
we
men
are.
from Mars and women from some other planet.
I ain't from no freaking Venus. No.